ladies, gentlemen, and everybody who has decided to open this thing up and give it a listen. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of the Tales of Hope podcast. That is right, Tales of Hope, not Stories of Hope as I had originally named it. You see, after a couple weeks, I realized that Stories of Hope is a Hope College run blog, and I would rather not steal that name and run into some problems down the road. So, I am changing it to Tales of Hope. Bear with me. It's going to take a little bit for me to remember this, but first things first, a little housekeeping. We are on Facebook. The page is just called the Tales of Hope podcast. You can find it there. I'll be posting all the videos from the YouTube channel onto there, and occasional updates, occasional maybe motivational posts, words from our guests, stuff like that. You'll never know until you like the page and find out yourself. Also, we are on Instagram. Again, Tales of Hope podcast. It is at Tales of Hope Pod. One word, no capitals. Search it. You'll find it. Logo is the exact same as the Facebook page. I will be posting, again, updates, episodes, and some behind-the-scenes stuff. I know I just posted a picture right now of the recording equipment you were hearing me on. So, follow me there, and you can get a little look into the works and what goes into this. If you do follow me, or rather, follow the page on Facebook, you will realize that I talked about this thing I want to do called Spotlights. Basically, where we're at right now is, it's the summer. There are not a lot of people around the college in the summer. And the people who I know, mainly, have graduated and are no longer near Holland. So, what the spotlights are a way for you to hear some parts of a person's story without them having to get it in their schedule to come sit down and have a recording with me. These are just going to be very short, minutes long, few topics, I'd say, that just give you a little idea of what this person is about without, going into any of the big things that we would need to sit down and kind of have a back and forth on. Hopefully, with these, we can bring the guests on in the future and talk about bigger things, go into detail on some of these things, whatever. But for right now, this is what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully in the near future, we will actually have guests on. I have 2 people for sure lined up that I need to get into contact with and figure out when we can get together and record. I would say definitely keep an eye out for those. Those are 2 very interesting people, and they should be good episodes. So, today, for our very first spotlight, it's someone who's pretty special to me. We have been friends for 4 years now, and I guess you could say we're best friends as soon as that happened. We have been through a lot. We have seen each other at our highs, at our lows, and just been there for each other through it all. So, today, the spotlight is on Erin Doolittle, who is a recent grad. She's class of 2018. She graduated with biology, psychology, and nursing majors, which a lot of times you hear at a college, oh, so-and-so is a double major. But how often do you really hear triple major? And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how she did it, but she graduated with it. It took her 6 years. We came into college together in 2012, and here we are. So I asked her about 3 things because, having been friends for so long, I know a lot about her life, and a lot of it is stuff that we would need to sit down and talk about. It's a very interesting life, a very difficult life, and a very motivating tale, in my opinion. So hopefully we can get her on, but for right now, I asked her about 3 big moments in her life that kind of shaped her college career. So they are the following: her decision to stop playing soccer in college, her decision to take multiple majors, and the impact of losing someone special to her, which, as you will learn, led into her picking up one of her majors. So without further ado, this is my voice, Erin's words. This is the spotlight on Erin. On deciding to stop playing soccer, she said, I decided to stop because I was going for a biology major. It was just a lot to take my bio classes and chemistry classes. I didn't realize how much of a year-round commitment it was to play a college sport. I loved soccer a lot, but I just wanted to focus more on making friends, playing intramurals, and my studies. I missed out on a lot that first year because of soccer, and you only do college once. This is something that I've actually heard from other athletes. Actually, an old roommate of mine went through the same thing, and I can imagine that it is very difficult to try to balance all of that at once, and sometimes you just have to give up what you like. On her decision to take multiple majors, she says, I was pre-occupational therapy at first, Then when my grandpa got sick, I was able to watch the hospice nurses take care of my grandpa and my family, so I decided nursing was what I wanted to do. I love people and knew that with my social personality it was a better fit for me, so I graduated with biology, psychology, and nursing. Speaking from experience with her, yes, this is the perfect field for her. Sometimes in our lives, it takes a traumatic, difficult experience to open our eyes and see what our true path is. And for her, as you kind of got the gist of, that was losing her grandfather, which leads us into our last point. The impact of losing her grandfather while she was still in college. She says, it made it harder to go to classes, to remember what I was fighting for sometimes. Thankfully, the professors and my friends were all super supportive, and I just reminded myself that he's always there and still loves me, and I was going to finish and make him proud. She also says that you can't stop living life because something hard happens. You just gotta trust that God will get you through it. And if you are a spiritual, religious person like she is, and I am, and a lot of other people in this world are, then you know just how true that is. So, those are just a few things that has made Erin the person that she is. I cannot give you a timetable as to when she will be on this podcast. If she will be on this podcast, I hope she will. She lives on the opposite side of the state, and therefore it is very difficult for her to just drop everything, especially being a nurse, and come over here. So keep your eyes out for a future episode with her. Follow the page on Facebook at Tales of Hope Podcast, and on Instagram at Tales of Hope Pod to see when that episode comes out, and to stay updated with everything else that goes on in this world. Thank you. This is Nick, and you're listening to the Tales of Hope Podcast.